Hello there, this is Chauncey Wyatt, aka Charlie Brawley, with another video of how you can beat the game of roulette 100% of the time. In this video, I'm going to show you how you can beat roulette 100% of the time. Before I get started with that, let me first say, number one, you can never beat any game 100% of the time. I'm going to talk about why you cannot beat the game ever. There is no game that you can beat 100% of the time. Not a single one. You've never played a game that you can beat 100% of the time. I'm going to talk about why. But before I do that, I want to talk to you guys really quick about the website you're looking at. It's permutationspro.com. For those of you who know me from a couple years ago, you guys remember I created this thing called permutations in roulette. And basically what permutations is all about is color patterns and how these patterns affect, from my perspective, mathematical systems. I look at mathematical systems from stock markets to roulette. They both, to me, work the exact same way. They have what I call an A/B outcome. They have an index. One goes up, it goes down. One goes red, it goes black. The factors that create the pattern in roulette is limited to, it's really limited actually, is limited to 37. In the stock market is limited to factors that you don't have any idea about. The only thing that you know in the stock market is that it's going up and down. So that means you really don't have any control if you try to calculate it from a perspective of historical data. You know, you can only calculate risk from that perspective. How else do you know what's going to happen unless you look at the past? You have to know where you've been in order to know where you're going. Okay, so Permutations Pro is just like an evolved version of permutations. It's I have team play sessions that you can come in, and I just do the playing for you. They're really inexpensive. I have personal play strategies that's really nothing but a composite of all of what I know. They're just broken down. And basically, if you get any of these and you begin to combine them and put them all together, they all work the same way in terms of trying to quote unquote beat it, which leads me to my whole reason why I'm here. I want to talk to you guys about beating roulette. I'm just scrolling here. It's a really cool website. I want to thank my partner for hooking this up. I'm not going to give him a shout out. He knows who he is. Thank you so much, sir. You are so kind indeed. Let me go here. All right, so while this is, I'm going to have this video playing in the backdrop just to give you something to look at while I play. The website is, I think we're about to launch this. So by the time you hear this video, the website will be completely clean. So this is really, really new to us in terms of going this direction. But the process, if you take a look at the website, read the language and the videos, you'll see that it's well thought out and well educated. And I think we're going to make a difference. But I want to talk to you guys about how you can win at roulette 100% of the times. Number one, like I said, you can never beat a game 100% of the time. The reason why you can is because in the game of roulette and the game of, particularly if you equate the stock market and roulette, they have this, we call a game of chance, okay? There is an A/B outcome, particularly in the index world, it goes up and down. In the roulette world, it goes red and black. And then that red and black is predicated upon 36 numbers, okay? So to break down why this goes red or black, you've got to dissect these numbers. The algorithm of the numbers is 36 of them. In the stock market, it's about 1 million, okay? And it causes that thing to go up or down, okay? And these calculations are made extremely fast. And one of the rules to risk management, I think, is to control the time of data, okay? Because the quicker you can actually access the outcome of a particular set of equations, if you're math like me, if you're into stuff like that, the faster that you can do it, the more careful you have to be, because that means that if data can come that quick and it's a ever-going cycle, like the game of roulette will forever go on. So as long as the world is going or casinos are going, The stock market works the same way. So as long as the consumer's consuming debt, which was what we live off, if we're still doing that, then the Federal Reserve charges us. They charge themselves 9 times more money. They give themselves 9 times to. It's almost like a progression. It's like a 9-step progression. Well, I'm using that same type of ideology right here in the game. Okay, but the reason why you can't beat the game is because for where there's up, there's down. The fact that when you win, if you won on lucky 7, then guess what? There was a chance that you could have lost to lucky 36. So from a perspective of winning and losing, as long as there's another outcome, you can never beat the game. You can't, no one goes into football saying, I'm going to beat the game of football. You stop thinking that way. You're not going to beat the game of football. But what you can do is become a great football player. Just because you're a great football player doesn't mean you can't get tackled. It doesn't mean someone can't put you on your back. There's still that chance. But you lower your risk by understanding the game better. When you understand the game, you understand your opponent, you can begin to make certain calculations. In the game of roulette, we're very limited, actually, in our abilities to make a calculation. We have a number of different ways in which we can make a bet. That is something that you can't get in the market. I'm a huge market guy. Huge market guy. But when I think about the AB outcome, so as long as this wheel isn't rigged, okay, and the way that we play with a whole lot of people who don't know what they're doing, okay? So the game has to find out who the suckers are, because there's a whole lot of them. That's another cool thing about this. The cool thing about the game of, and here's another I want to talk about real quick about, you think about the game of roulette, and people, we've been sold this whole lie all of our lives about gambling. They say, hey, if you go to the casino, you're a gambler. If you're spending all this money at the time of casino, you're a gambler. Now, I do think if you're spending time and money anywhere of a place in which you don't completely understand, you're not a gambler, you're a fool. There's a big difference. The difference is everyone is a gambler. We're all going to take the risk. The question is, how do you manage the risk? I think I said in one of my videos, some of us take risks in our relationships. You get married to the wrong person. You find out they're crazy. You didn't calculate that into your math, into your money. Now you're out of half your money. Same thing with men and women. So you start a business. Oh my God. What businesses fail 90% fail every 4 years. 90% of every business fails within 4 years. But what they teach us in modern education is to go to school, get an education. I'm not opposed to getting an education. I'm not opposed to going to school. What I'm opposed to is not understanding how to calculate my risk. I'm opposed to that. Because no matter how much education I have, if I still don't know what affects the outcome of me reaching my highest potential, I can be an educated fool, and I know plenty of those people. Plenty of educated fools. These people are amazingly educated, and they work 40, 50 hours a week on a job that they hate. There's something that they're missing. So that's what I look at when I'm making my whole personal analytics in terms of how to conquer things. That's how I dissected the game. You can't do anything like that. Well, at least to me, I don't know of any other thing that I could do financially where I could break down as succinctly as this. And knowing that there is still another outcome. There's always another outcome. Okay, you just happen to, that's the reason why, again, the banks take 9 times out. This is called a progression. What if you don't pay your bills? What if the ball does land on 36 and you had it on 7? You need a progression. That's how it works. This is a cycle of debt. This world works on debt. The whole game of life is built around debt. I know a very popular person that that you probably hear about every day that built his entire career on debt. So the debt is nothing but an A/B outcome. Is he going to spend his money or not? Yeah, he's going to spend it because we're going to market it to him or her. We're going to show them that they need this new car. They need this. They need it. We're going to put the model on TV. They need it. And as long as they need it, we have an outcome. We'll have an algorithm. We know that every so often he's going to go do this or that. So now we could raise speculation. We could raise prices. We can trade based upon your behavior. And this behavior is paying interest to banks. This is on the stock market. People trade on this. It's called consumer data. What you're doing with your life. A/B outcome. They trade this. But the thing about it is that to calculate all of this, you got to know all the variables. And the reason why I started looking at roulette closer was because it worked the same way. The difference was the variables were right in front of me. I'm looking at the board. I see exactly what it is. And it doesn't move quick enough for me not to be able to make a resourceful calculation. And the only reason I'm at that place is because I've just looked at this a million times. I mean, I'm a market guy. So I because of looking at that so much, you know how difficult that could be. You have to know a lot of different things that a lot of people don't know to be really successful. Okay. And then there's a huge risk that you can't calculate within that. What if you don't get the information? What if that person removes themselves from your life? You know, how much risk is that? How much did you calculate that? A lot of people are having a lot of success today that they won't have tomorrow because they don't know what tomorrow brings. Tomorrow's a whole new set of circumstances. Roulette doesn't have a tomorrow. I hope you guys see what I'm saying. If you see this vision, if you understand this, I swear to God, it's going to change your life. It's not a game that you're playing a game, but when you understand the game and how it's built around you. Okay, that's the reason it sucker you in. It makes a sucker of you because you don't really know that it's really how you behave anyway. You're just not calculating. That's all. There's nothing impossible. Zero impossibilities. And the thing is that because this is so random, like I said, if you were playing with if you had 100 people playing on this game, oftentimes there's at least 100 people here around the world who's playing roulette on Bovada. I swear to God, that game is not going after you or me. There's too many idiots, too many people who are just doing this and they're hoping and guessing that something's going to work out. That's not how you conquer nothing. I've never seen a general go into war without a plan, without a risk analysis. What are the chances of? What that means is, what's the worst case scenario? That's the concept of permutations. That's the concept of anomalies. What are the chances of? That's the question. When you get to that point, you begin to think of how frequent can I come close to that? I just gave you the hugest key. I'm not even going to say that again. So nonetheless, you can't beat the game, but you can become an extremely good player. All right. And you've got to analyze, like I said, you've got to analyze the risk. You got to think like the casino. You know, you've got the casino, they're at the top of the pyramid because they use money as a factor in their risk calculation. You're trying to take money from them. They're using it against you. They're using it against you because they hire people to, kind of like me, to think of ways to get you. They think of algorithms. They think of games. And then they go to casino and they put the flashing lights and the girls and the booze and the liquor in front of you. And then they say, oh, go have a good time. and then they go say, go. And when you leave here, go to college and get an education because, you can be a great businessman. And when you become a great businessman, you're going to go out and get a great business loan. That business loan is going to have a great percentage on it, interest, and there's going to be a 90% chance that you're going to fail. That is the actual historical statistic on that. Go research it, look it up. Or go in business. How about that? Talk to other people who have started a singular business and what are the frequency rates that singular business lasts more than 4 years. Don't get me wrong, there's a lot of people who do, but we're talking 10%. We're talking there's 90% of us who don't. Okay, that's real stuff. So what's the difference between the 10? Well, the 10, I think they do a great job at calculating risk. Sometimes it is a lot of luck. That 10%, you can get lucky, but I think ultimately you have to know a little bit about calculation. You have to. And if you don't, I know at least at this level, you have to think on that level. So, and that's the level we're going to be at. It's the level we're going to be on. So if you want to take advantage of what we're doing at Permutations Pro, we're not beating anything. We're not guaranteeing you $1 million tomorrow. And any fool, let me say this really clear. Any fool who believes that, don't waste your time with me. Please go talk to the other fools who are selling that. And you fools go have a good time. What I got here is real. This is great stuff, but it's real. You can't beat any game, but you can become a damn good player. And you can understand your anomalies to know that even in 10,000 tests, I've only seen seven progressions, and we can go up to 16. Even if we went to 16, what are the odds of that 16 repeating? It's a permutation that extends within an anomaly that is so rare. It's like two stars colliding and then colliding again. It's rare energy being formed. We're chasing the chance of, but we've broken it down in 36 numbers. That's all this is. I mean, what's crazy is that you actually do this. You just don't know you do it. You have to do it. You don't know you're doing it, and then when you actually are conscious of you're doing it, it's on such a very low level. But everyone has to make a calculated risk on some level. You do. So it's just that you're not very conscious of it. And if the moment you become conscious of it, you begin to look at everything from that perspective, because everything works that way. When you start to think on it that way, I swear to God, you're going to start changing. You're going to start changing your diet. You're going to start changing everything, because you actually have power, literally. You have real power. So this is really what it's all about for me, is to help someone along the way become a better person, become the great that they are, and begin to see life on a different perspective, make more calculated risk. Think about what you're doing, think about the AB outcome, the chances of, then, take your chances, but know that life goes on. You're not going to beat life. It goes on. How are you going to beat roulette when there's another spin coming up? That doesn't even make sense. It amazes me the things that and I know who did it. You know who did it. The gambling industry did it. They're smart. They're really smart people. I can't, you have to give it up. They're really smart people. They're taking advantage of a system built around a socialized group of people who have been taught to be fairly stupid. Dead on. Been taught to be fairly stupid. And I don't think that I'm all that. Please don't think that. But I can tell you this, if you look at some of these videos, I damn near call out the numbers. And that's only because I'm able to calculate my risk. That's all. I'm just calculating it, thinking about it, making calculations. It's called permutations. It's called algorithms. For those who understand what I'm saying, you get it. But if you don't understand what I'm saying, continue to watch the videos. I'm gonna talk about it all the time. And just wanted to let you guys know that, listen, man, there's a lot of money you can make here. You can not only do this with roulette, you could do it in the stock market. You could do it in anything that has an AB outcome. Craps, I was told, has an AB outcome. All that stuff can be calculated. Believe me, I just don't understand. I mean, I only understand roulette because I've studied it. But anything can be done this way, where there's another chance after you're done. You can't beat something that has another spin. You can't do it. So as long as consumers are eating things, drinking things, doing things, you can't beat the market, because the market's going to continue to go on. You can't beat any game if the game continues to go on. So you change your perspective. You begin to change your life. Change how you see things. You won't attack it the same way. It's almost like that bully. I remember if you're a boxing fan, Gorilla in Manila, when Muhammad Ali and George Foreman were fighting, and Foreman was swinging real big and hard and wild, right? At Muhammad Ali. Now, Muhammad Ali was absorbing him, but he was swinging huge swings, big and hard. And guess who won the fight? It wasn't Foreman. It was Ali, because he knew that the big and hard stuff was going to wear him out. Okay? The big and hard stuff was wearing Foreman out. You can't attack it that way. You can't try to beat it to death. Don't do it that way, because you'll end up getting beat yourself. And that's the reason why, as good as George Foreman was, he got beat. It wasn't because he wasn't bigger and better than Ali. He wasn't smarter than Ali, right? Or as smart as Ali. So only thing I'm teaching here are just some thinking principles. And then we're just taking this and making some money with it. All right. So check out permutationspro.com and all the good stuff that lies therein. And if you don't like any of what we're doing, don't waste your time, because it really is a waste of time. Go on somewhere else. God bless everyone who is patronizing what we're doing here. But if none of this makes sense, there's no need for any negativity. Just, hey, I'm stupid, I'm crazy, and just leave it at that. All right. You guys take care. Take care, and really, really, really do well and do good. And by all means, if you have comments, please don't hesitate to comment. I'm not telling anybody not to say. If you whatever you want to say, just say it. But I just try to want to leave a lot of negativity, because what happens is there are people who I believe who really do want what is called a breakthrough. Like, they really want to change. And sometimes, because you're clouded with negativity within yourself, it just takes 2 or 3 more people to help you, expound upon what's already within you. And then it just prohibits you from going further. That's the only reason I'm asking negative people to just stay away if you can. I know you're not going to do it, but do it for the vine. Okay. All right, guys, take care. Take care of yourself and each other. Until the next time, peace. Bye-bye.